Hi everyone. Yeah, great to see you in the afternoon. And YQ, founder of AltLayer. And at AltLayer, we're building a bunch of these infrastructures for all the different projects. And previously, we've been delivering rollout by service, AVS, and service. And for the past few months, we've been thinking about like what are the like sort of new demands in the crypto space. And so we spent a lot of time on doing research and also the development. And like around 2 weeks ago, we published our research paper on the sort of new product line we have AltLayer. Basically, as you can see, right, it's Autonome. We're trying to build this new backbone for these verifiable agents in crypto. And as we can see right now, for all the agents, right, either in Web2 or in crypto, they're quite ubiquitous. We can ask different agents, either from this ChatGPT or Anthropic or DeepSeek, right, to execute all different tasks, achieve some goals. For example, we can ask the agent to book a ticket. We can ask the agent to do some payment and order pizza. And all these things can be easily achieved, like either in these agents in Web2 or even in crypto. And in crypto, we natively have all the assets on chain. So we can also ask all the agents to do some on-chain work. For example, this portfolio management, and also help us to swap tokens across different chains. However, as we know, right, if we are hosting all different agents in like sort of the cloud, for example, GCP or AWS, we always have this kind of issue like, okay, whether these agents can really deliver the service with very high SLA, like this 99% none, right? Or it can basically serve all these users or ourselves like 24/7. So in that case, right, to build this Autonome platform, we basically create a bunch of important components. The first one, as you can see, right, is the POS AVS. So basically, we try to have some services to monitor the status of the agent and also check out the heartbeat and to perform some health check of these AVSs. And since in crypto, right, we try to leverage a bunch of nodes to do this service in a decentralized manner. And the cool part, as I mentioned, right, all the different agents in crypto, typically they are quite time sensitive and also integrated with a lot of different DeFi applications in crypto. For example, they connect to like sort of Uniswap or Compound RV for lending. And sometimes they also create two different bridges to do these assets. And on top of that, right, we all know that there's a lot of DeFi applications, or if you ask the agent to do this portfolio management, it's quite time sensitive. For example, right now the market is quite volatile. And when we leverage the agent to do the portfolio management, sometimes we have to make sure they are really online, can avoid some liquidation instead of just being slow to react to some of the actions in the market. And on top of that, right, if there's some new airdrops for some TG project, right, we also want this agent to quickly log into the account and claim the airdrop, probably sell the airdrop. So all these actions that you can see, right, are quite time sensitive. And beyond that, we also know that for a lot of these crypto agents, they also have the impact on some social layer. For example, we sometimes look at the agents like AXBT, right? Subscribe to the AXBT to see what are the new information of the latest projects. And so in that case, if AXBT is saying something about there's a new project trying to do TGE and the performance was quite good. And so in that case, we want the agent quickly to basically purchase the token or sell the token based on this kind of signal. So in that case, as you can see, right, all these agents, they also have the impact on the social layer. Since these time-sensitive operations activities, we need to ensure on these agents, especially crypto agents, we need to have this some guarantee on it. And Autonome, for this sort of like per platform, right? We will have this POS AVS to ensure that we can regularly check or monitor the status of these agents. And if you roughly know the AVS, right? Basically, it's actively validated services like created by AltLayer. And so the idea that we have a decentralized set of operators, they will do the health check and heartbeat check of these instances that host these agents. So in that case, all these operators will carefully monitor the usage of CPU, RAM, and the disk. And we can guarantee, okay, the instance that hosts the agents, they can perform very well. At least it's always online for 24/7. So it can help us to avoid the liquidation, and sometimes can also help us to quickly ape into some tokens and based on the different signals. And the cool part that, as I just mentioned, right, is with this kind of system, right, we have roughly this decentralization and also transparency. Because previously, we have no information about the instance or the machine that hosts the agent. Right now, we can expose the information via these AVS operators, and they can basically deliver the alert. And sometimes if the instance really doesn't work out right, and these operators and the system, the AVS system can do the slashing to make sure like all these instances and operators can work in a predefined manner. And if you are familiar with the implementation of AVS, there's a bunch of interfaces and on-chain smart contracts and also off-chain software we are hosted in these operators. We already developed all these kind of components, and as a developer, you can directly launch like sort of agent on the platform without hassle. But in general, if you want to look at like sort of the implementation as a reference, it's really the best practice we have based on our experience on working with Eigen for the past 2 to 3 years. Of course, for some of you, you may not just want to check the status on the dashboard. You also want to query these APIs for your own development of some application, right? We also expose a bunch of APIs, either for the sort of the applications or for some developers. You can easily query like sort of the status or this health check of the different instances via these operators and AVS. Beyond that, we also want to have this verifiability for agents. And as the second most important component for Autonome is about the verifiability. We leverage like sort of the TE instances. For example, this Intel TDX SGX or AMD SEV to host these like sort of agents in the backend. The cool part that because like right now we have a lot of agents, right? Let's use AXBT as the example. Since AXBT can reply or make tweet in a very fun and intelligent way, right? So a lot of users or community members complain that, okay, this AXBT is not an agent, probably it's operated by a bunch of students, and they search all the latest information and just reply in a very fun way. And how we prove, okay, AXBT is an agent, right? The best way is to prove the backend is running in a machine and there's no interference from these humans or the other users. And that's why we need this kind of TE to ensure that, okay, all these backend logic around this agent and also the data, they are secure by these sort of TE enclaves. And at the same time, since this logic is sort of hard-coded into the enclaves, it won't be tampered by the external parties and the human. And on the other hand, as you can see, right, this way it can also prove that, okay, the agent replying to different users and it's by the machine, not by the human. Of course, like if we were talking about this verifiability about the AI, especially crypto AI, right, we need to look at this supply chain. Typically, it starts from the data source, and after that, we know there's a training and the inference, and after that, there's agents calling these APIs from the inference nodes, right? But as we all know, like sometimes it's very difficult to guarantee the verifiability of the data source because, like, sometimes it's very biased by labeling of this human, right? And on the other hand, like also for training and inference, for training probably is still very difficult because like we all know that for big models, either this OpenAI or this Anthropic, basically it takes tons of $1 million GPUs to train the model. Even we have DC, it still takes around like $5 million. And in the centralized data center, it takes a few months. We can't easily decentralize this training system. For inference, probably much better. Right now, like AMD produce new hardware, basically can help us to host the very complex with big parameter sort of like models at home. So in that case, like we can do the decentralized inference network. But for most of the crypto AI projects, as far as we know, right, we assume this inference or API we call are sort of verified and or it's trustworthy. So that's why if we are talking about this hosting and the verifiability of the agents, typically we say, okay, we make sure the backend is verifiable. So it won't be tampered by the hosted machines or tampered by like sort of the human. And as you can see, right, when we talk about this verifiability of the agents, even just for this hosting, with these TE instances, right, it's not sufficient. We also need to have regularly this generated attestation report or proof. And we also need to have the verification on chain for these proofs. So in that case, it's not just a one-time verifiability. It's like from time to time, we can always have this proof and of the attestation, and also we can do the verification on chain to make sure this logic and also data in the backend of the agent can always be verifiable. So that's why you can see, right, there's such diagram, and we are collaborating with Automata to make sure all these T instances and also agents are verifiable from time to time. Also, the proof can be verified on chain. The third very important component we have for Autonome is about this cross-agent routing protocol. And yesterday we hosted our event around this AI crypto like sort of web, and we invited like Lincoln from Coinbase and also Shram from Eigen. They all mentioned that in the future it's not just about one or two agents; it will be tons of millions of agents in the world, and they can do all different tasks, and also they will collaborate with each other, right, to complete some of very complex tasks. So in that case, it's quite similar to the chains and also applications in crypto right now. We need to have some interop protocols for them to basically exchange messages or assets. And that's why we believe in this multi-meaning sort of agents in the future, not just in Web2, but also in crypto. So that's why we already start to do research and implement this protocol called cross-agent routing protocol in a confidential way. So in that case, you can see, right, if in the future we really have millions of agents, we need to find ways for them to discover each other and also connect to each other. So in that case, like we need to have the protocol to show the different metadata and also the information of different agents and also the channels they can talk to each other. So that's why with this cross-agent routing protocol, and all agents can easily find each other and instruct each other in a timely manner to do or execute the tasks they want. Another cool thing that, as I mentioned, right, this protocol is under this confidential environment. So that means if agents are executing some secret tasks, for example, we instruct one agent to basically ape into pump.fund to buy the token, right? And we don't want to lead the alpha to the other agents. So in that case, this agent information should be super confidential and it can't be really easily exposed to the other agents. And if this agent call the other agent to do some cross protocol or these bridging services, right? And then all this information should be under protection. So that's why we also highlight. And we also have this mathematical proof for this cross-agent routing protocol, just to make sure, like, okay, it's not just between human and agent. We can use TLS to ensure this confidentiality, but also the message across different agents, they are under its own confidential channel. So it won't be exposed to the other agents. It won't be exposed to human. And that's what we call blended channel in the white paper. For the details, you can check out this math and also the formula in the paper. But in general, as a developer, right, you can see that we already have different modules for this protocol, like normal registration, payment, queuing system, and it's not like sort of just for the agents launched on Autonome. For the other agent in different platforms, you can also benefit from this protocol by doing the registration, follow some of the APIs and also interfaces we provide. And as you can see, right, these are just some standard interfaces, and it can help all different agents, either hosted on Autonome or hosted on the other platforms, to communicate each other under this confidential environment. I just explained like sort of the three very important components for Autonome. One is this pause AVS, second is verifiability, and third one is this cross-agent routing protocol. And the good thing for AltLayer is always that we have sort of the research and design the very complex protocol, make sure this security and decentralization. But at the same time, we also help you to finish all the heavy lifting. So that means like all these components we already finished and basically are embedded into the existing no-code dashboard platform. Right now, if you visit the website, right, so you can directly go to the website and choose different agents we already support, and click a bunch of buttons to configure the agent, and then you can quickly launch the agent within a few minutes. And as you can see, right, we are closely working with the Coinbase team for supporting their Coinbase agent kit, and we're also working with the ELIZA team and support this ELIZA. And during the hackathon with East Global in February, we have like over, I think, 50 different agent frameworks already uploaded to the platform. If you are a developer and you have a fork of this existing agent framework, or you develop your brand new agent framework, feel free to upload to the platform. And as you can see, right, if you have your agent frameworks uploaded to the platform, or you launch some agents on Autonome, automatically all your agents will basically enjoy all the benefits, as I mentioned, from the three very important components. And that's why, like sort of I'm saying, we finish all the heavy lifting, so you don't need to do it. And you just need to click the buttons and launch whatever agent you want. If you want to do some DeFi sort of favorable application like launching tokens, doing some swap via the Uniswap, just feel free to try this Coinbase agent kit. And if you want to try out like sort of this Twitter agent, just feel free to connect your Twitter account into this ELIZA agent, and quickly you can launch your own Twitter agent to make tweets based on your previous tweet history, or you can also filter like sort of the content you want this agent to tweet. And the cool thing, like we're also having some events, and feel free to join us. But in general, as I mentioned, right, if you want to have a try about the platform, just feel free to visit link dev.autonome.fun. As I mentioned, everything is already production ready. You can quickly launch an agent and just choose the different parameters you want. And beyond that, if you are a developer, and you can also upload your own agent framework into the platform, and we can help you to distribute this framework to different users. And if you encounter any like sort of technical questions, issues, just feel free to join this group, and we are happy to help you to polish your agent framework. And beyond that, if you want to extend like sort of duration for your agent, just feel free to reach out to us. But as summary, right, we are already entering this kind of a crypto agent era, and in the future we will have more and more agents helping us. And at AltLayer, we are planning to have this Autonome to really serve all different users and developers to benefit from this crypto AI era. Yeah, thank you. That's all my presentation. Feel free to reach out to us. Thank you all.